He's got me right here, right now, and I thank God for the opportunity to do service. And where I'm serving is New Creation Foundation. And just to briefly describe the program, we're a 12 to 13 month Christian discipleship program. And what we do is we help men with life-controlling issues. It's categorized on this: behavior, substance, and relationship. And it's usually a lot more. It's the bondage we fall into when we get in the sin of the world. So like I said, whether it be alcohol, whether it be drugs, we help them with eating disorders, issues with pornography, you name it, we can help them. We have guys with depression. I have a gentleman now that he has his ups and downs, but I've seen him come from sitting in the corner to crying all day, to not being on any psychotropic meds anymore, to stepping up as one of our leaders, to being off of alcohol and drugs, and each one of these men have a testimony that's unique and individual of how he set them free from these issues. And I'm going to just go ahead and let one of them get up here and share. And in between, I'll share a little bit more about what we do and how the program's structured. But I want to let Brother Jerison get up here and tell what the Lord's doing in his life.
Praise the Lord.
It's nice to be here. Well, just to tell you about my life with the Lord, I was thinking about it this morning, and it was 21 years ago yesterday that I was sitting in a prison cell. I was in a county jail waiting to go to prison. 18 years old, and I was terrified, and I thought everything was over. That was a wrap. And this is what my life had become. This is how it's going to end, and absolutely no substance. I didn't grow up in a church family. We weren't raised. You might have thought so, as to see the way I was raised, with the ethics and morals that my parents instilled in me. But we were missing that key element, and it just my identity there was no creation of my identity. I never had an identity in Christ, so therefore I was always searching for an identity. I was always looking for something that there was that void, and I couldn't figure out what it was. I had no one to point the finger or point a direction, where to find it. So I looked for it in the wrong kind of people and drugs and alcohol and things like that. So it started at a young age, and right away I got checked, and I went to prison, and I didn't really even have anyone there to really hold my hand through being a Christian. And this is what Christianity is really about. And basically I experienced jailhouse religion. And I was selective, and I was willing to surrender all that I thought I really had to surrender, which wasn't much. Get me out of this and I'll, thumbs up on you. But I had no clue that I was at that point on marked, and that my life was going to change. I had no clue to what magnitude being a Christian was really behind that. And I found out later on after I got released, and tried my hand at a few things. I tried my hand at Bible college. Tried that for a year and a half. It just wasn't for me. I think I was pressured into that more than I really was called to do that. The drugs eventually got back into my life, and they become harder, and the level of sin that I had started experiencing became deeper and darker. It just spiraled. It was a downward spiral for a good 21 years, basically. It really wasn't until 2005 that I had really wanted to make a difference. I really wanted to, from 91 all the way to 2005, that I really was like, now's the time to really get right with God. Now's the time to really experience a true relationship with Christ. And I kind of tried. I went that direction at least. I started falling down toward the cross instead of away from it. But it was still a tough road from there. And it was one failed attempt after another. And it was inpatient treatment. I tried a teen challenge. I tried some other programs. And got a little bit of meat out of it, but really threw a lot of valuable things away. So I guess really just fast forward a little bit. I don't want to get into the history too much details, but I guess about 10 months ago I had left this program and thought that I had it. That's cool, I got this now. I had a little bit of money, and thought that I had a good handle on my relationship with Christ. Went back to Seattle. That's where I'm from originally. Went back to where it all started, thinking, I got this, this is cool. But it wasn't. And I immediately stepped out of His will. The second I left this program and got on a taxi on my way to Dallas Fort Worth, I knew, I could feel that there's a coldness about stepping out of His will, and I felt it. But not what God has in His plan for my life. And it does get worse from what I thought it was before. There's a whole different level of rock bottom. It can always get worse.
Oh, yeah.
And I experienced that. And I also, because of all these years of playing around with God, it also felt that loneliness of not having Christ in my life anymore. Well, He was there, but I was so deluded and delusional. It got worse. And it basically got to a point where I had done the prayer, get me out of this one. This is it, after all the other 100 times. But He really did it. He did it at the last minute. And it was peculiar because I had been on the streets for 5 months, living in homeless shelters, maybe getting by on a bologna sandwich once a day, dollar menu burger. And I had lost a lot of weight, and I had lost a lot of hope, and I had no fire left. And I finally got to a point where I had a little money from college, because I'm in college, I do school online, and I got a little bit of money, and finally got an apartment, I finally made it on the methadone program, and I was like, on the world standards, or from a junkie's perspective, everything started to look good. And that's right when the opportunity to come back to this program presented itself. Brother Greg, you see me on Facebook, and he's like, so when are you coming back, buddy? I'm like, not now. I finally got to where I've arrived. But I did it anyways. I hopped on a plane and came back. I knew that this was going to be a short-lived, all these little things that I had acquired and managed to scramble together, I knew it wouldn't last, and I knew it was just a Band-Aid, and I knew it was just another curse in disguise that looked like a blessing from the devil. Like, oh, things are getting better, but I knew that I knew that he wouldn't. And so I came back, and I've had some struggles since then. I've had some issues, some ups and downs. But one thing about this place is that with Brother Greg and just the brothers at this program, I've experienced the love of Christ through them, through the place, through the structure of the program. The neat thing about Brother Greg is he does things more on an individual basis. He doesn't just say blanketed this. Well, there are some blanketed rules and there is some blanketed structure, but he takes each of us, puts us aside, talks to his counsels with us, kind of tries to pull out all the dross and find out what the issue is and what needs to be done and how he's going to handle each of us. And some of the other students may not like it. They may see favoritism what they think it is. But each of us get dealt with the way we need to be dealt with. And that's how Christ is working in my life as well. And He's doing it through them. And it's just an awesome opportunity. Just to tell you about some of the blessings since then. And, there's been a lot of blessings through those years, even walking in the valley. But when you're walking through it, it's really hard to see it. You're so self-consumed. You're like, oh, God, everything's just... But hindsight's always 20, so I can see it now. But right now, I'm still in college. I'm on the second half of my junior year. I shouldn't have passed the classes that I've passed so far. It was just not too long ago. So I'll just give you an example. These last 2 tests that I took were pretty big classes. And I really went into the final exams going up. If I only did start this term off like this, I would have been really confident about this. Each class I passed by 1%. And that 1%, if it was 20%, or if it was like, if it was a different, but both of them were 1%. And that just, to me, that just says that he's got that 1% you need to get by. He's got that 1% to carry you, which you won't be able to do normally on your own. I've got a daughter who's 10 years old, and our relationship is just improving, and I know he's going to open that door for me to be closer to her.